Welcome to the Coffee Clutch. Time for some good conversation over a cup of coffee. Grab yours. Let's get started. Today's favorite saying of mine is, "A fool and his money are soon parted." And this is one that my children will attest to the fact that it was often mentioned in our home. Now, the origin of this saying apparently comes as far back as the Old Testament. And let's see, in the book of Proverbs, chapter 21, verse 20 of the King James Bible, is the origin of this phrase, as it contains the same meaning. And the verse is as follows: "There is treasure to be desired and oil in dwelling of the wise, but a foolish man spendeth it up." So the sentiment behind this old saying is, again, thousands of years old. Once again, a testimony to man is not all that different today than he was thousands of years ago, and certainly the things that concern us and bother us and drive us remain very consistent. Now, the more current phrasing, "a fool and his money are soon parted," was first said by Thomas Tusser in a poem he wrote called 500 Points of Good Husbandry in the year 1557. So this saying, in its current form, "a fool and his money are soon parted," is actually still quite old. And again, a testimony to the wisdom that is held within that old saying. So what does it mean? It means do not allow money to drive your life. It's interesting, one of the number one reasons, according to a Google search, for divorce happens to be money problems, because money problems create tremendous stress in our lives. And sometimes people don't have any idea, can't really imagine what kind of stress debt can cause them until it's too late and they're deep into debt. And why is one the fool? Because the simple life is the happy life. And what I mean by a simple life is a life that is within your control. When life begins to spin out of control and you're no longer in control of your life, it becomes very complicated and it becomes very, very stressful. And so how do we keep our lives simple? It doesn't mean we can't do fun and exciting things. It doesn't mean we can't reach for the stars and have great expectations. But it means each step of the way be in control of your destiny to the best of your ability. We know for a fact that people are driven by outside influences about what's the most stylish thing to wear, what are the best shoes to have, and what's the most fabulous car to have, and where's the place to go vacationing that will bring my reputation to its great heights. What does any of that matter? It matters not at all if when you spend your money for those special shoes or that special piece of clothing or jewelry or, the car or the vacation, if once you've spent that money, now you're in debt. Debt is like a slavery. You're a slave to work to make the money to pay off the debt. That's so much more cumbersome and difficult to live like that than to live within your means. To save for a rainy day. You get some money, save some of that money. Take the rest of the money and then enjoy it. Maybe there is a very special pair of shoes that you want, or that very special outfit that means a lot to you. You really like that jacket, you like that cashmere, you like whatever it is that's a little bit pricier. That's okay. I'm certainly not advocating that we don't ever splurge and enjoy things. But what I am suggesting is we don't splurge when we can't afford to splurge. Be careful, because it renders you in debt, leaving you very unhappy. And isn't that a foolish way to live your life? Who wants to live like that? When our children were little, their father would take them out shopping for tennis shoes. And he would let them look at all the different tennis shoes, the Nikes, the New Balance, the maybe Walmart brand. everything. They saw from the least expensive to the most expensive, and they were given a certain amount of money they could spend on their tennis shoes. If they bought tennis shoes that were less than the amount of money they were going to be given, they could keep that extra money and put it away for whatever they wanted. If they wanted a more expensive tennis shoe, then they would have to go into their piggy banks and they'd have to add to the money that we were going to give them. And that was fun because you could see the different personalities coming out in our children. There were some that were perfectly happy to wear close to the least expensive shoe and take that extra money and put it away and enjoy it for something else. There were others who were a little bit more driven by the status of a particular shoe, and so they would go for that. And then there were others who, I do believe there was one incident in which one of our kids added money because they wanted a better tennis shoe, or a more popular tennis shoe, I should say. Because with 8 kids and hundreds of pairs of tennis shoes that came into this house, more expensive did not mean better quality necessarily. I would watch some of those more expensive shoes fall apart before my eyes, while some of the less expensive shoes were shoes that the kids actually grew out of. It's important to note that. And it was fun to watch the kids develop their own approach to how they wanted to spend money, save money, splurge on money. When it's all said and done, now I am their mother, but I think they've all learned quite well. They understand the meaning of living within your means and the peace of mind that that brings you. The simplicity of a life where you're not a slave to work and to the next paycheck so that you can pay off your credit card. Oh, what a foolish way to live. I hope you take time to consider just how valuable this old saying is, the wealth of wisdom with which it holds for you and for your life. Please like this. I hope you subscribe. And if you have an old saying that you'd like to discuss, I would enjoy hearing from you. And until next time, enjoy that cup of coffee.